What are some of the things that you did in prison? It's always fun to say.
So my first prison trip was to do volleyball. And then my second trip, we actually did softball and volleyball at a minimum security prison.
I'm Brad Keaton, and I've been with Impact Sports to Ghana and to Southeast Asia. And I've been on a couple prison trips as well, played softball with them a couple times.
We first got introduced to Impact Sports through our son-in-law, Gabe O'Sullivan.
My name is Brian Keaton. I've been on several international trips with Impact Sports. I've been to Costa Rica, Nicaragua, and Southeast Asia. And I've been on several prison trips, federal and state prisons.
Both of the trips really were just an awesome experience to get to just see a different culture and really see how basketball was able to cross lines.
Tell us how we got started.
So we actually got started with Impact Sports when they came to our church's missions conference. 6 weeks later, we both hopped on a plane and went to East Asia for the first time for both of our first international mission trips and Jason's first ever trip.
I think our biggest change that we've seen is probably a maturity level, for certain, a comfort level.
He's always been a great young man, but to hear about his stories and how he's gone to foreign countries and exposed people to the Word has been an impact on our entire family. I've seen the example that he has made for his kids and for our daughter Ryan. Incredible impact, and we're thankful for him and his example to all.
You as an older brother and as an influence, and seeing you do these things, it actually pushed me to want to do them.
I realized very early on in that first trip that this was something that had been missing from my life and that needed to be in my life. And every time we came back from a trip, started feeling that pull more and more into missions and ministry. The goal of the ministry was not just to get people on a short-term trip, but to see lives changed and have people decide that they're going to go in ministry full-time. And I knew that he was talking to me. I knew that there was a season that had passed in my life of being in the corporate world and that we needed to pursue being in ministry full-time. And the Lord answered that call and those prayers by allowing me to be the missions pastor at the church at the Mill.
So I would definitely say if you're watching this and considering going on a trip, do it. It's a special experience and there's nothing like it. I'm just so grateful for my opportunity to be able to travel and getting to use the sport I love to impact people for the God that I love.
I would say if you're considering going, definitely take the opportunity to do so for yourself. It's just impactful on a cultural level, like you said, just to see how people live and to understand that we're not all that there is in the world. There's people that live and struggle every day to live, and they need Christ just like anybody does.
Through the years, we've wanted to invest in other people and be able to send other people. So that's why we continue to give.
The thing that is always constant in our lives is our giving to Impact Sports. We've seen firsthand the impact of what that does. It allows people to go, it allows the staff to be able to have resources, and we want to see the ministry thrive. This ministry helped change our lives.
If you are considering two things, if you're considering giving financially, I highly recommend it. I'll talk about that in a second. But if you're a parent and you're concerned about your young son or daughter maybe traveling as far as with the organization, my first concern obviously was allowing our son to go internationally, and you never know what's going on. And it was a phenomenal experience and was well taken care of, and a great experience for that. So I would encourage you parents to let your son or daughter go, as well as financially. We feel that the money was well spent, what we invested in the trip, but also in the additional funds that we gave, that we feel the organization manages those funds well, and it's used for the glory of Christ.